Oh, are you doing the... Okay, there we go. Okay. So, Jesus Christ, Edge. 32 months. That's almost 3 years, dog. Thank you so much. I almost said happy birthday, but I'm like the better part of a month early for that. But I apparently got pinged for the month. So, happy birthday. How goes it, dude? Okay, so this is the tavern, so I want to go here. It goes, how am I? I'm doing fantastic. I have enjoyed my 2 days off. I picked up my beach passes for July. My stomach is full of yummy food. And I am going back to work tomorrow morning. But I wanted to stream. So I'm streaming. All in all, not terrible. The pair arrive at Le Hall I guess Le Hall Market because there are so many silent letters in French. Vendors and buskers, performers and thieves, bourgeois and peasants all bustle from place to place. Prince Juan said he'd met a flower girl here. Signe, I think he said her name was. There's this one with flowers over there. You think that's her? I think so. It's possible that she knows the murderer, or even that she is the murderer herself. So he should probably act with tact and finesse. Excuse me, Mademoiselle Flower Lady. We would like a word. Tact, Sparrowson. Tact. We've been over this. Holy shit. Signe is an apt name for you. Dear God. You are confusing to the eyes, my dear. You look like a Greek goddess. But not Greek. Egyptian. Oh, shit. What kind of voice should I give her? She's got an Adam's apple the size of a fucking pineapple. You know what? I'll make her Russian. Good day, messieurs. Are you interested in purchasing a flower? Yes, I wish to purchase a rose from a lady. I'm afraid that I'm out of roses. I sold my last one a week ago. Perhaps you'd be satisfied with a chrysanthemum instead? It is a beautiful flower from a fair maiden. Please don't mind Sparrowson. He fell out of his nest as a baby and has said dumb things ever since. Hey! Let me introduce myself. I'm J.J. Falcon, defense attorney. Are you Mademoiselle Signe? That's right. Catherine Marie Signy. I suppose you're here to ask about the royal assassination attempt. How'd you know? I'm no fool. I'm no fool, monsieur. I know that the rose I sold was used as the murder weapon. To be honest, I'm surprised it's taken so long for somebody to directly question me. The Persian police seem to have a habit of missing obvious leads. So, do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions? Business is slow. Please ask away. Where'd you get your flowers from? Where do you acquire your flowers from, if I may ask? Normally, I gather them from the wild. Last week, I found these chrysanthemums on the city limits. And that's the same place I discovered this monkshood. But since it's still winter, I have to buy a lot of my flowers from a merchant who traveled to Italy and the Netherlands. That's how I acquired this rose. What can you tell us about this particular merchant? Not a lot, monsieur. He's just an old man who passes through Paris a few times a year, selling his goods and wares. I see. No chance of him being a super secret assassin? No, monsieur. Did you want to ask something else? Mademoiselle, you mentioned that you sold your last rose a week ago. Who'd you sell it to? The person who bought the rose, I didn't catch his name, but he was charming red fox. Sounds like our Juan. I met him around a week ago on the 6th. We talked for a while about the usual things, you know, like how everyone seems to be in debt these days. Then he bought a rose and left. I hear the fox is on trial, but to be honest, monsieur, I don't think he's guilty. Oh, why is that? Well, actually, never mind. It's just a gut feeling. I'll put a little bit. Mademoiselle, it just so happens that we're defending this particular fox in our court assizes. If you have something to say that could prove his innocence, now would be a good time to let us know. I'm sorry, Minzers. I can't. Wait! Mademoiselle Signy, wait up! Damn. Nice display of tact and finesse, Falcon. You scared her off. Miss Swan obviously knows something crucial about the case. We need to get to the bottom of whatever it is. Whatever it is. Agreed. But I don't think she'll be in the mood to tell us anything else. I know. Why don't we try acting with a little more tact and finesse next time? Hush. Occasionally, special cinematic scenes marked with an exclamation point will pop up on the map screen. These cinematic scenes are only available for one day before disappearing, but they take no time to visit. Their viewing is entirely optional. Well, fuck, I'll take optional shit. Oh. A storm is brewing, my brother. Word of the royal assassination attempt is spread. The proletariats grew confident. The bourgeoisie are cowering. It won't be long before we have rioting. And then, a revolution. Artists, scholars, and historians. Guess this is the one place we haven't been. Falcon and Sparrowson make their way to the Place du Carousel. The courtyard just north of the... God fuck. The Louvre's Grand Gallery. That's the Arc de Triomphe over there, right? I swear it's smaller than how I remember it. That's the Arc de Triomphe du Carousel, you doofus. The big Arc de Triomphe is up the road. What? No way. Where are there two? Because when a man like Napoleon invades half of Europe, he gets to build as many triumphal arches as he damn well pleases. Oh, you are amazing looking. Well. I never expected to see you here, JJ. That arrogant voice. Good day, Severin. Let's be civil, JJ. Why don't you introduce me to your new assistant? Fine. Severin, this is Sparrowson, my assistant. Sparrowson, this is Severin Cocorico, the most pompous prosecutor in Paris. How are you two old school friends or something? More like arch rivals. Please, JJ, I think arch rival implies some sort of competition. As I recall, you've met in court on 5 occasions, and on 5 occasions did you get humiliated terribly. I'm amazed a failing bird brain like you is still able to get clients. Actually, Severin, business has never been better. I'll have you know that I'm currently employed by the Prince of Spain, no less. The Prince of Spain? Juan Querido! Wow, this is quite the amusing coincidence. Don't tell me. Correct! I am the prosecutor for the very same case. It's a pity that the Spanish prince will indubitably hang, but I suppose that's what he gets for hiring a bird brain to represent him. Don't call me a bird brain. You're the only bird brain here, Severin. One always speaks badly when one has nothing to say. Voltaire. Uh-oh! He's giving you the verbal smackdown! Quick, Falcon, make a witty retort! Huh? Oh, yeah. What he's saying proves nothing. Voltaire. Whoa! Very good, JJ. A worthy riposte. But enough talk. If you messieurs would excuse me, I have a case to prepare for. JJ, Sparrowson, I'll see you two in court. I can't stand that guy. He did seem like a bit of a cockerel. Is it true what he said? Now that he trounced you in court 5 times? I can't deny it. Severin has a reputation as a ruthlessly thorough prosecutor. Mountains of evidence surprise witnesses. It's no wonder he always manages to one-up me. But this time will be different, right? I hope so. I know so. For you see, I stole this annotated map of the Louvre out of Cocorico's pocket when he was busy rattling off our Voltaire quotes. Sparrowson, that's pretty illegal. It's pretty illegal. Pretty illegal and immoral. Stealing from another attorney, that's the sort of thing that gets lawyers disbarred on the spot. Oh, I didn't realize it was so serious. Alright, I'll go give it back. I'll say he dropped it or something. Wait. There's no need to be so hasty. Let's have a look and see what the map says. We'll just take a peek. Just moments ago you said taking the map was illegal anymore. Well, the act is done. It's not like Pekin will be making the act double illegal. Plus, the extra information will be even the playing field. It helped create a balanced legal environment. That's a good thing, isn't it? When you put it like that, it would almost be illegal to not take a look. Yeah. Let's take a closer look. I see. This map shows the entire Louvre area. Everything from Tuileries to the Rue de Livry. Most convenient. We're currently standing here in the Place du Carousel. Those penned-in arrows seem to show the route taken by the king's entourage, which means that the king first went here, through the Salle de Tiber. Tiber? Salle de Tiber? I don't know what the fuck. And then here to the Grand Gallery, where the murder occurred. Didn't Prince Swan say that he spent a morning in Tuileries Gardens? That's right. So that means Prince Swan approached the Louvre from the west side, somewhere over there. Sounds like we have a lot of places to visit. Where should we go first? Let's be there. Oh my god, Our feather-headed friends wander through the immaculately maintained Tuileries Gardens. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, until they spot a familiar face picking up litter by the tree line. Hey, Falcon! Doesn't that groundskeeper over there look familiar? Yeah. Now that I'm looking at him, he does look a lot like that photographer. What's his name? Oh, shit. Roberto Rubinio. Roberto Rubinio! Did someone call me? Oh, gee, the loyals who don't appreciate the masterful... Fuck, why am I Russian? The loyals who don't appreciate a masterful photograph when they see it. It's good to see that you gave up on your artsy dreams to pursue a more grounded career of groundskeeping. Hey, I'm not doing this... Fuck! Hey, I'm not doing this willingly. I was given community service for committing perjury. Can you believe that? They gave me, an esteemed photographer, community service. Me! Yeah, I can believe it. Perjury is somewhat serious. You should be thankful that you got off without jail time. You sound just like that self-righteous Judge Maxima. So, did you two want to ask me something, or are you just here to gawp? Personally, I'm just gawping. Actually, I do have a couple questions, if you don't mind, Monsieur Rubinio. Have you met the prince? You don't suppose you've bumped into a Spanish fox who goes by the name of Prince Juan, have you? A Spanish fox? No. I have never met anyone like that. This is about the assassination attempt on the king. You're asking the wrong person. I only started working here today. I see. Was there anything else you wanted? How's groundskeeping? So how's that new groundskeeping job working out? Terrible. Tourists are pigs. Sometimes literally. Look at all this rubbish I've found. Beer bottles, tin cans, apple cores. Look like I picked up by the west entrance, a book page. A book I could understand, but single page? What kind of blithering moron just loses one page? Wait a moment. May I take a closer look at that, monsieur? It's from Don Quixote. Don Quixote? That's a page from Don Quixote. Might I take that off your hands, monsieur? Sure, what use is it to you? What's it worth? It's trash. It's literally worthless. I suppose I'll be destroying it as per my duties. Alright, I suppose you deserve a little compensation for your trouble. Glad you give me the page and... I'll pay you. I'll pay you 5 francs. Easy money, right? 10. 6. 10. 8. 10. Wow, Falcon, you suck at bartering. Right, fine. 10 it is. Take my damn money. Page 44 has been added to my evidence folder. Did you want something? Yeah, no, I'm done with you. That's all. When let you get back to your work, Monsieur Rubinio. 54 francs. Okay, that didn't hurt the wallet too bad. It's a good thing we gambled so much. So oh shit, no, that's not what I meant. So let's go to Sal de Tibri place. So this is Salle de Tibri. If I understand Cocorico's notes correctly, this is the room the king and his entourage stopped in before heading to the Grand Gallery. This room doesn't seem to be very popular. You don't see anyone around to interrogate. Interview. Right, interview. Well, since it's quiet, maybe we should take the opportunity to do a little snooping. That'd be the point. Surely all the interesting evidence would be in the Grand Gallery where the murder took place. Think about it, Falcon. The police would have already gone over the Grand Gallery with a fine-tooth comb. I bet that numbskull Inspector Voltaire didn't think to check this room for clues. There might be a murder weapon just under our beaks. Your logic seems a little questionable, but it couldn't hurt to have a look, I suppose. Okay, I need to be careful here. A shiny copper urn. Guess it was used for carrying water, or cremated remains. Probably not both at the same time. Smells good. Don't sniff the exhibits, Sparrowson. No, really, this urn smells amazing. It's almost chocolatey. You poor thing. You're hallucinating from hunger. Would you like to stop by a bakery on your way back to the office? Don't patronize me, Falcon. My nose never lies. I'm telling you, there's something in here. I can feel it. Now you're touching the exhibit. That's definitely a no-no. See? Look what I found in here. Put that down, Sparrowson. It's someone's old rubbish. No, look. It's a chocolate wrapper. Judging from the smell, the chocolate was bitter and dark. 70, perhaps 80% cocoa. Belgian in origin. The level of wrapper crumpling and the firmness of the chocolate residue indicate that this was discarded just a few days ago. Holy fuck, this guy could be in forensics. Jesus fucking Christ. Yes, I'm certain. The chocolate contained in this wrapper was undoubtedly consumed on the 7th of January, the day of the murder. Mon Dieu, Sparrowson. You deduced all that from smelling the wrapper. Imagine what I could work out if I tasted it. That won't be necessary. Sparrowson, if you could apply this level of critical thinking to areas outside of food, you'd be the world's greatest detective. If only all evidence were edible. So, do you have any idea which shop this chocolate was purchased from? It might help us track down the person who consumed it. No, there's no possible way we could know that. I suppose we'll just have to visit every confectioner in town and sample every little bit of merchandise for comparison. For sure. Interesting. Because I can see Lander Hagelflax Chocolate Emporium written on the wrapper. Hey, can't blame a bird for trying. That was amazing. I'm not sure what this is. Some sort of stand or podium? Maybe it's just a decorative piece. It's a Roman doorstop. Roman doors were enormous marble slabs. So the doorstops had to be similarly large in order to stay in place. I don't think that's right. My uncle's a Roman historian. Trust me. These columns have a design to look... These columns have been designed to look Roman. I think the style is Ionic. It is ionic, actually. It's not ionic, Falcon. Iony is when a character says something, but the reader knows it means something completely different. That's not... Never mind. God, I love the writing. I see a cabinet full of engraved plates, mostly bronze. How much do you think they're worth? I don't know, 300 francs a piece at least. What? Are you serious? I'm in the wrong profession. I don't think archaeology works as a get-rich-quick scheme, Sparrowson. Who said anything about archaeology? I'm going to become a museum robber. Oh, well, that's one way to get rich quick. It's some sort of ceremonial container. It's beautifully crafted, but what did it contain? Maybe it's an arcane wine cabinet. Don't be so ignorant, Falcon. This is a sacred Mesopotamian artifact, gifted to Emperor Hadrian for his victory at the Euphrates in 123 AD. Quit making stuff up. You and I both know nothing about Mesopotamia. Alright, you got me. It could be a hippo's chamber pot for all I know. A supporting column. It's holding the roof up. If the column were truly supportive, it wouldn't hold the roof up. It would encourage the roof to get to its location on time. What? Alright, I'm just doing one last sweep. I think we're good. We're done here, for now at least. You can't spend all day staring at Roman artifacts, I suppose. So where next? Grand Gallery. Oh my, hello Porcupine. Here we are, the Grand Gallery. The murder room. I believe the murder occurred right under the new painting. I see hundreds of paintings. Which one's a new one? Not the foggiest. You'll have to ask someone. Oh, please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Excuse me, monster. You look like you know your Mona Lisas from your last suppers. I don't want any attention. Maybe he isn't talking to me. Nope, he's definitely talking to me. Keep it together, Eric. God, this fucker is me. Oh, hi. Did you happen to know which painting was unveiled on the 7th of January, when the king came to visit? Oh yeah, I can help you with that. It's the piece right behind you. Ah, I see. It's the painting of the king himself. Man, he's a loon. Oh, he's a penguin, might be. Nash, one noble-looking penguin. What do you think of it, Falcon? What do I think? I'm no art critic, but... it's subtle and nuanced. The careful brush strokes, the pre-Raphaelite soft tones and subliminal use of light. This is contrasted, nuanced work. It's an evocative painting that alludes to a forgotten era. You said a lot of words, but I'm not sure if I'm any closer to knowing your opinion. I'm getting the impression that you monsieurs aren't regular visitor galleries. No, we're a right pair of Philistines. Speaks for yourself, Falcon. I've never been to the Middle East. Then I'm guessing you're here to investigate the king's assassination attempt. That's right, we're actually hoping if we could ask you a couple questions about what you saw. Oh, I wasn't even in Paris when the murder took place. I didn't see nothing. But, I have a friend who might be able to help you out. What's this? R&M Associates, home of the Renard Volpe's private investigator. Thank you, but I don't normally deal with these grey area law types. No, please give the guy a chance. He helped me out of a bind before, and I'm sure he'll do the same for you. I'm not making any promises, but I'll keep a hold of the card. We appreciate the help in any case. It's no trouble. Interesting. Thank you for your time, Monsieur. Is there anything else we could do here? Well, ideally we would turn the whole Grand Gallery upside down in our hunt for evidence. That's not possible with so many people around. We should probably just move to another room. Are we all done here? Yeah. Yep. Let's make a move. Good call. We can always come back later if we've forgotten something. Holy crap. Let's start with the chocolate. Holy Christmas. Oh, you are so German. No, he's Belgian. Oh, I have no idea how to do a Belgian accent. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Lander Hagelsack's Chocolate Emporium, the finest Belgian chocolate shop in all of Paris. Paris, I don't know how these people talk. Oh, I gotta deepen this voice. I am Lander Hagelsack, the founder and owner of this establishment. Okay. And I'm J.J. Falcon, defense attorney. Good day, monsieur. Oh, lawyers! Very fancy! I must say I once dreamed of being a lawyer, but, well, circumstances wouldn't allow it. It's a funny story. You see, when I was a young boy, I befriended some son of Hungarian attorney. Falcon, you have to help me. What is it? What is it? It's just now, Falcon. It's overpowering me. It's demanding that I lay waste to the shop. For pity's sake, restrain yourself, Spurson. Oh, but I'm rambling, aren't I? So you, messieurs, are here to buy some chocolate? Yes! No. We're actually here on business, monsieur. Business? First things first. We believe this chocolate wrapper originated from your shop, are we correct? Oh, yes. That is indeed the trademark Hagelslack wrapper for genuine Belgian Hagelslack chocolate. This was almost certainly brought from this very establishment. Very good. With that established, there's something else we wish to ask Monsieur Hagelsack. Who bought this? Can you tell us who bought the chocolate that was contained in this wrapper, Monsieur Hagelsack? I'm afraid not, messieurs. Not just because matters of confidentiality, although that is a factor, you understand, but because I couldn't possibly know that. I thought elephants never forget. My memory is impeccable, monsieur, but you must understand I have dozens of customers a day. There are hundreds of people who could have potentially bought this particular item. So your memory is good, but you need further information. If we were to give you a description and name of a person, would you be able to tell us whether they purchased something from you? Oh, yes, I could probably do that, monsieur. Let me think. Who to ask about? Let's try him first. Have you ever served Juan Querido, the Prince of Spain? Prince of Spain, no, monsieur. That's good to hear. Our clue would have turned into a dead end if our own client turned out to be the chocolate fiend. I did once serve a princess from Mali, if that's any help. You see, I met a girl while hiking through the Himalayas. Please stop. Let me think. Who to ask about? This fellow? Have I ever served a hip photographer named Robitio de Rubinio? No, monsieur. Let me think. Who to ask about? Ever served a tiny mouse named Mousy? No one, sir. Mice terrify me. Messieurs, I'm growing tired of these endless inquiries. Mayhaps you should come back another day. You know, Falcon, possibly we just haven't encountered the chocolate fiend yet. Rather than coming back here every day and making aimless sketches, we should wait till we have someone specific in mind. You might have a point, person. Thank you for your time, Monsieur Haglesack. We shall return when our investigations progressed a little. Any time, messieurs. Fuck. Oh, shit. Wait. Have you ever served a flower-selling swan named Catherine Marie Signey? Oh, shit. No, monsieur. What are you thinking, Falcon? I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. If she were the chocolate fiend, then our investigation would have become much simpler. But since she's not... Let me think. Who to ask about? Ah, shite. Ever served a member of the Royal Guard by the name of Major Howell? Oh, shit. Are you sure? Yes, monsieur. I've served many soldiers, but I don't recall seeing a major here in recent memory. What does it mean, Falcon? Have we lost your lead? Not necessarily, it just means that Major Howell didn't buy the chocolate that may have killed him. There's still the possibility that someone bought chocolate for him. That's our lead. That's who we want to find. Is she? Oh, I did once serve a high-ranking officer to the British Army who was on his way to Zimbabwe, if you want to hear that story. No, I don't want to hear that story. Let me think. Who to ask about? Shit. Hunting beagle. try him. Ever served a hunting beagle named Fontaine? No one, sir. I'm growing tired. Shit. I mean, I guess we should try here. Ooh, customers! Oh, it's you. Hello? Is this the office of Renard Volpes? Ah, it's you two! Mousy, what are you doing here? Oh, this is where I work. See? R&M! Renard and Mousy! Monsieur Renard Volpes and I carry out all sorts of investigations together. Although, to be completely honest, it's normally Monsieur Volpes who chooses which cases to take on. Mousy, we have a message for you. It's from Prince Juan himself. He wants to know if birds have flown south for the winter, whatever that means. Oh, yes. The birds have migrated successfully. But if Prince Juan told you that, then that must mean he trusts you. He must want you to take these. Go on, take them. These are used train ticket stubs. Looks like two people took a railway trip to Vienna. What exactly is the point of this, Mousy? Prince Juan said they would help you with the trial. See the names! Gautier Signy, Nicole Signy. I recognize the surname, but I don't know who these people are. Neither do I really. Prince Juan told me to book train tickets to these people and then make sure they caught the train. And so, and that's what I did. Strange. I'm not sure exactly how these stubs are supposed to help with the trial, but I'll keep a hold of them just in case. Let's go, Sparrison. I'm done playing courier. Good call. Falcon, what are you doing? Right, what was I thinking? Okay. I couldn't get away with that shit. Once again, Falcon and Sparrowson find themselves waiting outside the doors of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you feeling nervous, Falcon? Yes. Of course, I'm nervous. What have you learned about Prince Juan? What do you know about the real murderer? Nothing. He's there, Falcon. We can do this. Oh, dear God. Signor Falcon, I trust everything is in order. Absolutely. And I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial. Ah, such confidence. That's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say? An admirable goal. No more jousting at imaginary giants. All of you cease your yammering. The door is opening. Here we go. Buena suerte, Signor Falcon. We will! Are you ready? Ready. JJ? Severin? Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. The whole courtroom's nervous. Whoa, cool your feathers, Falcon. Terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. But if this is how you act before the trial has even started, why, you pompous-tailed posture perfect. Oh, shite. Romulus. Order, order, let's all settle down. Court is now in session. Psst. Falcon! What is it? Is it me, but does the primary judge look hairier today? That's a different judge than the one who presided over Dame Catherline's trial, you doofus. Oh. Still, it's a little strange, isn't it? Yeah. It is a little, I suppose. Excuse me, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Judge Maxime would be presiding over this case. Where is he? Judge Maxime has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury, that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Corrido, who stands accused of murdering Major Howell and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call. The defense is present and ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Good. Very good. I expect this to be a nice, speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes. 5 minutes? He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together. So we're all on the same page. Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I called a police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Justy Valerty. Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath. I swear to speak without hatred or without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Oh fuck, it's 2 roosters. Please recite your name and your occupation for the court record. My name is Inspector Justy Valerty. I'm a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats. It'll do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before. Whoa. Cocorico's really going for a speed record, isn't he? Now, can you tell us what you witnessed on the morning of the 7th in January? Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to Louvre's Grand Gallery for one of the King's Royal Guards. Did he just say o'clock? There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Felipe, the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand, and about 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand, and then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howell's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions. Damn. I was hoping the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. That'd make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we're not so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony. Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine the witness. Falcon, was it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure every base is properly covered. Sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it. For now. Go on, Falcon. Do your cross-examination. At 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock, you say? Correct! 10 o'clock. How long did it take you to arrive? From the time you were called, how long did it take for you to arrive at the crime scene? Around 5 minutes. I happened to be in a neighboring Paris Royale at the time, so it was a simple journey. And I'm guessing that Major Howell would have been dead for around 10 minutes by the time you arrived. That would be a fair estimate. Plenty of time for a bad guy to slip away, huh? That's definitely a possibility. I don't think the court would appreciate my wild speculations, though. No, that's it. Two dozen citizens. Inspector, you say there were around 24 citizens, all of whom attest to seeing my client deliver the poisoned rose. Oh boy. When you put it like that, the situation seems a little dire, doesn't it? Correct. We collected precisely 22 testimonies, and there were no major inconsistencies. What exactly did they say? I'd like some further details. What exactly did the testimony say? Each citizen attested to see the king and his entourage approaching the new painting at the Grand Gallery. Each heard the king deliver a short speech, which was on the subject of progress and societal improvement and whatnot. There was some applause. Then Prince Juan, set out of the crowd, approached the king with the rose in hand. Each person then saw Major Howell take the rose from Prince Juan, and each person saw Major Howell promptly drop dead. I see. Some of the descriptions of the man's death were quite graphic. He convulsed, twisted, and spasmed, said one witness. His mouth frothed like a rabid lunatic, said another. Thank you, Inspector. I think we get the picture. Yes? There were 22 of them, so no. Poisoning. Inspector, you say the coroner decided with certainty that Major Howell was killed by poison. Correct. He stated the signs and symptoms were a textbook. There's no possibility his death was natural. What kind of poison? Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was? He was not certain. At first the coroner posited it was plant-borne poison like the aconite flower. But then when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noticed that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it might have been some newly engineered concoction. A newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt. Indeed. Yeah, I do. How? How exactly was Major Howell poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? His finger was pricked by the poison rose. He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this. Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, DJ. You heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are you suggesting? The pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt Mr. Howell died. I don't doubt that Mr. Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt the rose was the cause. Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon could fail to draw the blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose, in fact, was the poison delivery mechanism. Actually, I can't tell him that. I dread to ask, but why not? We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose was caused the poison and given the time of the incident. Well, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvelous slot. We pricked the finger of the defendant with the rose. The fuck? If there's no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives. And he's free to go. If the rose is poisoned, the prince dies. That's okay, because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime. Oh, fuck. A marvelous suggestion. What is this witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. Or so the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence. Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all. Why is that? Given the nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes. Such unprofessionalism. If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question. Nice try, JJ, but the thought process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poison. Wrong. There is something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison. Something the investigative police blindly overlooked. It would be the chocolate. Look at this. What am I supposed to be looking at? It's the paper apple of a piece of chocolate. It was found in the livery, the salad of Tibber to be precise. We can date its consumption to the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Ah. I gained a little favor with the jury. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector? The police force does not have time nor resources to trawl every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid. In other words, you overlooked it? Astounding unprofessionalism. The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. I offer my apologies, Your Honor. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damned job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs. Still, let me get this straight. The chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene. Correct. And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be. You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. What are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. But do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate? Well, that is a fact we're still investigating. I see. Do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then in actuality, you don't have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He's a man who claims to have an excellent view of the people going in and out of Louvre at the time of incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Kingley. Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath? You're adorable. It's a kingfisher with a fishing pole. Can we keep him, chat? Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Oh, right. The oath. I swear to speak without hatred or without fear. To tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Toussaint Kingley, and I'm a person who fishes. A kingfisher, perhaps? A person who fishes. So you're a fisherman? Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon. Here comes Toussaint Kingley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because didn't he hear? All kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you're carrying a fishing rod. And, can one not carry a fishing rod, reel and a bait without being branded a fisherman? Look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake, fine, whatever we can list your occupation is person who fishes and not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? This is veering quite far off the course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions? Of course, Your Honor. Mr. Kingley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon a rail on the Point d'Arts. The Point d'Arts? That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw away from Louvre's south entrance, correct? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? Fishing. He was fishing. Kingfishers. Where a falcon. So you would have plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the parish. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre is a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9 AM, as the king, who was Felipe himself, entered the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then, around 9:30 AM, saw the shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honor, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's a bit vague and biased description. No, really. He looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Rub the stem of the rose, you say? As if he was applying something to the flower, perhaps? Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is the direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his very own eyes. I smell perjury. You do? No question. You saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honor, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Really? This nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on a rose. What is your question? I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honor. Fine. Go, do your thing. Go on, Falcon, go make a fool of yourself. Oh dear. I was sitting upon the Point d'Arts. And I saw the shifty-looking fox, some sort of powder. Okay. Monsieur Kingsley, you said that you were sitting upon the railing of the Pont d'Arts on the morning of the incident. Yep. Monsieur Kingsley, you had a good view of Louvre's south entrance, didn't you? Yep. The Pont d'Arts is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery south side. South side. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you were entering from the Tuileries Gardens or the Place de Carousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course it isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if he used a different entrance? What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the gardens? Tuileries Gardens to the west. That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre Gardens? As a matter of fact, yes I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached to the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Come on, JJ, show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from the Tuileries Gardens. This. Look at this. A book page! Page 44 of Don Quixote, specifically. It was found just outside of the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan had been reading in jail since his arrest. I believed he had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That's the first thing I checked. You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in the Tuileries garden prior to entering the Louvre. That also means, in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, and not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Pont d'Arts. What? I know what I saw, Monsieur. A fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took a long way around. One can still travel from the Tuileries to Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Alright, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You're fine with logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes fewer assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out on the way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered and he took the long way around. How dare you! The nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making basic mistakes. Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. No! Everything I've said is the truth. I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman! See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant falcon in place, don't you? I must concede. You concede? On this point, at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. Ah, no! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable. But I did say something, I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan lurking around the south entrance of the morning on the murder. A swan? Do shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say? Your Honor, Judge Romulus, we're out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start on the Hare versus Torrance trial. It's that late already? Curses. I hope we would have the case wrapped up in a single trial session. It is a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing. Yes, all right. I don't need to hear your moralizing. Court will resume this Friday, the 21st of January at 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get the stupid fox a conviction already. I will do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honor. A lot came up in that trial, huh? Yeah, no doubt about it. Something was bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingsley, lie on a witness stand? Maybe he was coerced. Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed. That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan. Let's keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Judge Romulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth. But why? Maybe he has a vendetta against the Spanish royalty. I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Excuse me! Excuse me, Monsieur Falcon! Oh god, it's you. Oh god. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. A letter for me. I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office. Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Oh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon? It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. Whoa, I didn't know these things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon. Stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary. There's no question that this letter originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we're getting close to uncovering the truth. Sounds about right. Why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this? Masking one's handwriting would be the most common reason. Although I can't help but wonder why they would bother, since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. We're still going ahead with our investigation, though, right? Of course. Oh, yes, absolutely. If Lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they'd never get any work done. Besides, it's only 3 days before the next trial session. We can't afford to be worrying about petting things like this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count. I have a theory. A game theory. Give me a second. No! No! I have a really strange idea. Have you ever served as hairy wolf in judicial robes named Judge Romulus? Oh shit! Yes, monsieur. Alright, have you ever served... Wait, did you just say yes? Yes, monsieur, a wolf in judicial robes. I did serve a person like that a while ago. On the 6th of January, to be precise. Did he say or do anything suspicious? Not that I can recall, monsieur. He was a pleasant fellow, big toothy grin. Brought 200 grams of classic dark Belgian chocolate with a custom filling. A custom filling? Some type of caramel. He provided it himself, although he unfortunately did not bring enough for me to sample. What does this mean, Falcon? Well, we shouldn't make assumptions. It may just mean that this judge liked to eat chocolate. But if the judge's purchase is related to the wrapper of the crime scene, then... Monsieur Haglisack, do you think I could get a copy of Judge Romulus's receipt? I can do you one better, monsieur. I have the original right here. I keep them for tax purposes, you understand. Is it okay for us to take it, monsieur? Absolutely. Memorizing the receipt's content is trivial after all. Oh shit, nice. Would you look at this thing? Judge Romulus signed it in green ink. Green ink? I knew Judge Romulus was shady, but only the truly villainous people write in green. Thank you very much for your time, Monsieur Haglisack. You've been enormously helpful. I'm glad to be of service. I wish you the best of luck on your case, messieurs. Shit, I want to keep playing, but I have to, like, not. I have work tomorrow morning. In the meantime, though, do not eat or drink any questionable substances. Make smart decisions, not die. Dying is absolutely forbidden. I will see all of you wonderful people at a later time. Take care, guys.